You guys are trying to accomplish with these specimens. The first one is getting your rapid read information, and the second thing is getting the correct tests ordered for that specimen. And so this paper will handle both of them. The idea with these papers is that it's one paper is used per site. You guys are used to putting multiple sites on one piece of paper. We're flipping to the opposite of that. It's one paper per site. And the benefit of this is that you guys are turning this in with each site. We get the paper, we see exactly what tests you want for that specimen, and we can tell right away what containers you sent with it. We're gonna match the labeling with these containers on this paper, making sure everything matches, making sure every container and slide has the site and the pass numbers, and then we're gonna make sure that the tests that are checked off for it match what you guys sent. So if we see flow and we don't see an RPMI, we're like, okay, wait, did you actually want flow? We're missing an RPMI, or maybe that's a mistake. We can correct those things right away. It's a lot easier to do it site by site rather than we're receiving multiple sites and a paper and we have to sort it out, and it's kind of like a puzzle thing, and we're like, wait, this RPMI is here, but we don't see flow listed anywhere. What, you know?
And it'll really help
very
missed orders. You know how on a lot of these we'll miss, maybe micro got missed, or flow got missed, or cytology got missed, or whatever, especially with the actual, like the BALs or the bronch washes. That's where, you know, a lot of times, because we process these in several different areas of the lab. So what comes here, we do the slides, we'll send out the flow sometimes, and we do the cytology and the formalin pieces. But like micro, the cell counts, like the hematology portion, all that, it gets done in a different part. And so in order to ensure that it gets to the areas, we've got to have a clear way of knowing what orders pertain to which specimen, so that way we can hopefully prevent any of those missed orders from happening. Which
So it's not a separate paper for each location, it's a separate paper for each sample, correct?
For each site.
For each
So
site.
let's
Because
kinda walk through the
a site
process.
to me though could mean a lymph node.
Yeah, so let's walk through the process.
Yeah.
So first we're going to talk about the rapid read stuff. So you're making smears on your very first site. You're going to fill out this paperwork with this site here. That's going to be your 4R or whatever station you're taking from. And you're going to check off on this box that you want a rapid read, because sometimes slides are brought to us and nobody's waiting for a rapid read. So we need to be told if you are expecting a rapid read done and a phone call. So that box will be checked off. You have a space to write down the number, the pass numbers, as pass 1, pass 2, and spaces for the number of alcohol fixed slides and airtight slides that you're supplying to us. So all of that will be filled out. You'll drop it off to us, and then you can go back. The pathologist is going to look at the smears. They're going to write down their immediate evaluation, sign and date it, and call back in with that answer. You guys may be moving on to another site at that time, and you can create a new paper with your new slides and come back. There's also the option of, if you're waiting for their immediate read and they say it's inadequate and you're going to do more passes on the same site, you can bring the new slides back and just add them onto the second line. Right now this is pass number 2, and we have one more alcohol fixed slide and one more airtight slide, so we can build onto the same piece of paper. That's an option that I've seen done at other sites. Tyson and I were talking, and if you guys are just writing a new piece of paper for whatever reason and bring it on over, that's fine too. We don't mind having more papers. The key is that we're reserving one paper per site. So once all that rapid read stuff is complete, we're done with the rapid reads, and you guys get a call that it's adequate. Now you guys are wanting to take your samples for the different medium. And so that's where, with one piece of paper and one site, you can check off all of the tests that you're going to do. So you can check off the flow with the RPMI if that's what you're submitting. The formalin, so we have a box for pathology tests with parentheses formalin, and we also have a box for cyto preserved site. So we do list the names of the media here and what tests they're for. So flow is with the RPMI, the cytology or the fluid-based specimens are with the preserved site, and then pathology processing, or it could, histology or interchangeable, right? And that's with the formalin. So you can check off what tests you're doing, and if you're doing more than one, that's okay. You'll check off a flow, a RPMI tube, and a formalin. That means you're giving us both those containers. We also copied over all of the micro tests that were on your original requisition, so those are all here. So if you are wanting to send something for micro, you have the option to check all those off as well. And I have here next to the micro test fresh. meaning it would be a no fixative. That's when you guys are sending us those glass vials with the black tube. I don't know if there's saline in them or if it's just nothing.
Saline in ours,
Okay.
yeah.
So that's fine.
Yeah.
And then you would check off those. So what we would expect is this piece of paper with the site written at the top, 4R, and for every check box, we would expect the container that matches those tests, also each container labeled with the matching site, 4R, and passes should be included, right? So any slides that you're sending, the pass numbers should match whatever's on the paper, and any containers that you're sending, the passes would be on there too. That's what I'm
separate bags too, or like 4R has a 4R bag.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah,
Any
that'd
way
be
you
good.
can separate
Yeah.
it is great. At the bottom, we split this up because you guys originally had a completely different requisition for the BALs and bronch washes dedicated to those body fluids. So at the bottom, we made a separate area for the BALs and bronch wash. Again, you'll have a site. And you can check off whether it's bronch wash or BAL, and then the tests that you guys have been ordering for those as well. So you could use a new piece of paper for the bronch wash and BAL and just fill out that bottom portion.
So you don't expect to see our old paper, really, anymore?
It'll be illegal
It's kind of all
next
summed
by
up
next
in this
week.
one piece of
Okay.
paper.
And then the way it actually goes, we'll take the needle, wire out the first sample for the slides, the rapid read slides, and then the rest of that sample that's in the needle, we splat it into formalin.
Yep.
And so then a separate sheet of paper is ongoing, and then we're going to put all the passes into the formalin though. There might be 3 more passes in that one site.
So the
and we're still
formalin
waiting
would
for the
say
callback.
pass 1
But
through
everything
4.
else is, or we could make
Yeah,
slides.
are they
But there's
just
an
saying-
ongoing
You'll just put passes 2,
1,
3,
2,
and
3, 4,
4
or 2,
in the
3,
same
4.
formalin
Okay,
track.
okay.
Is that
okay.
right? Is
Yeah,
that
I
what
mean,
you-
yeah. Does that sound
Yep,
reasonable?
yep, that's how it's done. And then on the container of the formalin, you would just write pass 2 through 4, whatever passes there were.
Or
And then
Cyto?
on the site.
Or Cyto.
Or Cyto?
So this is the paper.
Tilting
for
towards Cyto
everything
or
now.
tilting
Yeah.
towards formalin? Who knows?
We're going to see a
Whatever.
lot of both, I think.
Yeah,
Okay.
lots of CDs.
That'll be the-
That is our wish.
Okay,
Just-
okay.
So one
Right.
paper.
Once
Right.
it's
And
put
then as
into
more
practice, if
feedback
there's any
comes,
fine
they
tuning
can
that needs
always-
to be done.
So that way you're splitting it, so
whatever
what's in the
changes you need.
Cyto and
This
what's
is
in the
a
formalin, you
start.
don't miss anything when you get it.
But the key
Okay.
is that when you move on to a new site, you're gonna
Yeah,
have to
we
fill
can
out a
always
paper
fill it out,
because
but
this
if
will
it's
be
actual